Hello, welcome back to another episode of Geeks Around the Mic. I'm your host Patrick, and with me always is my good friend Scott, and we are going to be reviewing episode 5 of The Last of Us Season 2, and we have a lot to say, don't we, Scott? A lot to say.
Yes.
That episode was like, there was some good stuff into it, but some of the changes they made as well, and
Yeah.
but
it was
yeah,
alright. I was like,
yeah.
That's my main
but,
things, I felt like we
yeah,
were writing thinking, like, no episode has gotten close to episode 2, and it's just gone downhill so far.
No.
And I just think, nah, it's not getting any better, I don't think. I don't know. I think hopefully
Yeah,
the
they
next
started
episode
off
can put it
strong.
together.
They started off strong, but
Yeah,
right now it's
yeah.
just... But no, let's get straight into the first episode, which starts off at
Mhm.
the hospital. As we know, at the end of episode 4, Ellie and Dina hear the explosion near the hospital, and that's how the start of the episode 5 does, is all the wolves are in the hospital, and they're barricaded the lift, so we're
Mhm.
wondering why, obviously, and then we find out later that they barricaded because they encountered something different, a new
Yeah, so
variant,
Yeah,
which
so
in this
it's in
case...
the air, they say. They
Yeah,
say
so
it's in the
which
air,
we
that's
later
what they say, it's
find...
in the air.
Yeah, so which later we find out is spores, which in the video game that was a big feature. The spores, where they had to wear masks to enter these rooms, which is where we find out that how Ellie is actually immune to the virus, because Joel was in denial that figures she was immune, but then as soon as they show the scene of both Joel and Ellie in a subway full of spores, that's where Joel saw the truth that
Yes.
she is immune. She's
Yeah.
actually not lying. She's telling the truth.
Yeah, she was like, I wasn't lying to you, and she could breathe it in. But obviously, in the show, they hadn't introduced spores yet, so they had it so she got bitten again by a clicker, and then in the museum, I remember that, and then she was fine. That's how they realized that she was immune for like definitely. So it's
Yeah.
a big change there. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so that's.
But you were
That was
asking
a
me
cool
before,
reveal.
before we got to the podcast, you would tell me like why they suddenly just added it. Why didn't they add it in season 3, season
Yeah.
1?
Oh,
Which I
season
found
1,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I found out today the reason why, and it was actually
Mm.
simple, really. I was listening to on the HBO's Last of Us podcast, and Craig Mazin actually came out to say what the reasons why they'd done that is because in season 1 they didn't want the actors to constantly be wearing the masks for those scenes, because obviously they'd be wearing the masks for like a long majority of the time for
Yeah,
shoots. So they
yeah.
thought they didn't want
We
to
need
add
to see
that.
Pedro Pascal's face. They can't just he's already
Yeah,
in
exactly.
another lead. He was already another lead in another show and he hit his face, so we can't do that again.
Yeah.
Got to show that
But-
man's face.
So that was the main reason why. But now they're suddenly adding it now. So is it going to be like a thing now for season 3? Like the actors will be wearing masks?
Maybe. I mean, they haven't.
Yeah.
They've got everyone established now, and they know who everyone is. So maybe they could do that, I suppose. But I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
well,
It might just be
Christy-
a rarity case, but
Yeah, because Christy will probably have to wear. Is it Christy who plays Abby? Christy who
Caitlin,
plays Abby? Caitlin, sorry, not Christy. Why was I thinking? But no, Caitlin will probably be wearing it for season 3 because there is a moment she will be in the basement, which we'll
Yeah.
talk more later. But we find out that they barricaded the door, and the woman who was in charge of the unit actually was the one who gave the order to lock it down and like don't let anyone in. And then we find out that her son was down there in the basement, and she's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one who who told the mother that it's in the air and they had to lock it down. So, and then we later on find out that they're all still alive, but they're like in like a deep freeze, like a deep trying to find my words, like a
sort of
deep freeze,
coma sort of thing, or like.
kind of like that. Yeah, they're still
Yeah,
alive,
yeah.
but they're like their
Mhm.
body is being used as like with the fungus as well. So now they're like part of the cordyceps, and now they're producing
Yeah.
spores coming out of their mouths, which I kind of like that feature. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Like,
It reminded me of Captain Keyes in Halo. Do you remember the first Halo game when he was like became part of the Flood and he was sort of like just sort of like that against? I think that's going back a long time ago, but like that's a classic thing. But kind of reminded me of that a little bit as well. That was quite cool. Visually, the show has been stunning. Like I don't believe that's anything that can be taken away from them. Yeah, there's some great stuff there as well, which was cool.
yeah, just that see when you see all the fungus on the walls, and then you see the spores in the air. I just thought visually that was just done perfectly. I thought that was like
that
a
was
really good part of the episode.
Mhm.
But the rest of the episode though, like, which we're gonna go into detail now, is
Yeah.
we have a lot to say about so far. Unfortunately, like, I feel bad for Bella Ramsey with all the hate she's given, but
Oh,
with
yeah.
these podcasts, each podcast episode, I'm like, yeah, she's doing great, but as it goes along, I'm seeing more or less Ellie in her now, and
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also just due to the writing, because it kind of seems like they don't know if they want to make her the John Wick sort of, badass, vengeful one that she was in the game, or the still comedic, goofy version from season one and the first game. And so what we get is sort of a combination of both. Well, one minute she's like the goofy with Dina and having a laugh and trying to be, silly still. The next she's this vengeful, where is Abby thing, when, going after Nora. And it just doesn't make sense because it's not consistent. And I feel like because of that, it's really hard to buy that. And I think also just because Bella Ramsey just looks young. Like, they don't look in my opinion, there's not a huge difference now compared to when they were, like, playing 14-year-old version. So, they're just not intimidating as well. So that's a real tricky thing. But I think it can't all be blamed on Bella Ramsey. It's got to be the writing. It's not consistent. They need to pick a lane in terms of what they're going to do with Ellie. But unfortunately, we've only got 2 episodes left, so we don't know what. There's not going to be any time to do that. So, because most likely season 3 will be Abby's point of view and everything. It just will not be enough. So, yeah.
Well, I've just seen it that they posted that Craig Mazin came out to say that if they wanted to cover the whole story of Seattle, they might have to do a season 4 as well. Yeah, that they've just recently come out with that now. So I'm like,
and I just think, I don't know. Just make a longer season, or maybe just make longer episodes. Why do you have to wait? Make like a 10-episode season, or a and then you won't have to. But they're milking this. HBO milking this so they can have, because there isn't a third game yet to develop and to adapt. So
they want to get at least a few more seasons out of this. They want to get.
Oh yeah,
more.
For sure. But I personally don't believe, especially once like Joel has gone for good, and if Bella Ramsey doesn't improve in terms of the consistency as Ellie, I just don't believe anyone's gonna care unless we somehow learn to love this version of Abby in the next season when we see much more of her stuff, because we know it's going to be more of her stuff in season 3.
She'll definitely be carrying it for the next season. I did say that last episode.
And it's like, unless that becomes a thing, I don't know. I don't believe they're going to do well personally, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Skeptical, very skeptical.
Because the episode starts off with the barricaded lift, and then we jump back to Dina and Ellie, and they planned out a route to go to the hospital. And obviously they need to avoid the patrols from the WLF. So they find that there's actually a weak spot going through a building. But obviously they're like, there's got to be a reason why they don't patrol around that area, which we later find out that the building is crawling with stalkers. Not just one.
Yeah.
And we've actually got a number, because it said it on the Craig Mazin actually came out and said there were 11 stalkers in that scene. So I'm like, 11.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, yeah. So, but obviously with the situation with Ellie, she can get bit multiple times, but she can still get ripped apart. But there's the case of Dina, though. Dina's the one who was more vulnerable in that scene.
Yeah, and it was a good moment. But again, like the bits that irritated me was when they were just arguing back and forth on what to do, and then like Ellie mentions, I mean, even early when they're talking about sort of like Dina's like triangulating their positions via radio, and like Ellie's like, oh, it's to do with triangles. Like they're just making her this sort of bumbling idiot. And then so when the intense scenes happen, it's not earned, and it's such an inconsistent tone, I think, with this. And like I like the scene when Dina is talking about, just a bit of a segue here, when he talks about Joel and how, it kind of foreshadows what Ellie is talking to Nora about her later on, when she says, it doesn't matter what Joel did, he didn't deserve to go out like that. And then all that kind of stuff. And that's all good, but it seems like Ellie needs like reminders of why she's here. Like Dina needs a reminder. She needs a visual reminder of the guitar when they find that guitar in the theater, and she's like playing the song there as well. And it to me, I don't buy the revenge thing here, and because I wasn't even on board with it in the second game, but at least they committed in the game. They made it so Ellie is 100% committed to the revenge thing in Seattle. She's just does not care about anything else, and it goes.
She's killed a lot as well in that game.
Yeah,
and in this series, Bella Ramsey's character's only killed one person at the TV station.
She's killed the guy with the knife. Yeah, she killed the guy with the knife there, and then she's like, obviously we know what happens to Nora by the end of the episode, but they're trying to sort of show that, oh, this is the damage that she's doing, and what's the tragedy, and it isn't the same thing, because she has a way less body count, and she's also not pushing people away that she cares about in order to get her revenge, like she was with the game. Like obviously how she treated Dina when she found out she was pregnant, like that was a big difference. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. I think with the it's just so stupid. So now with this episode, obviously the stalker bit was good. Like again, visually it's really cool when they shine the torch and they're all crawling on the shelves and stuff. That was really cool.
That was creepy.
It was a good moment. Yeah, but then obviously after that scene, we then get the reveal, of course, who comes to save them.
Joel!
He's alive!
Yes!
Yes, that's a big twist in this version.
But that's
No,
what they
it was
tried to make it
yeah.
look like, that she sees Joel.
Yeah, they did in the game, in the trailer of the game. Yeah, they did a misdirect, which I hated.
I know.
I was like, oh come on, guys. It was so
Everyone
silly.
hated that. Like, but that was the thing they should not have done, because it made
Yeah.
people think that Joel was going to be a big part of the game. And spoilers, it wasn't.
He wasn't.
He dies.
No, he was. Yeah. So it was Jesse. It was Jesse in the game, and it was Jesse now. And obviously, it was a cool bit when he goes to help them. Then he obviously, after saving them, he then finds out. Well, no, he tells them that Tommy's there. So Tommy's been here as well, and they've been separated. So maybe Tommy can still be doing the damage he does in the game, because he's been separate from them this time for a little bit of time. But that was a good moment. And then obviously they retreat. And then we get obviously the bit from the game which you were excited about, which is to do with the scars and everything.
Yes, that part I was expecting it though, since they ran the woods. I was like, I wonder if are they going to encounter the scars, and they did. So it shows all three of them witnessing their ritual that they do when they capture a wolf. They like try to cleanse them of their sins, which in reality is just messed up. But no, and then you see that
makes sense. Before. I'm joking.
Yeah, but they're watching the scene though, like, oh god, it was brutal. And then
when he gets strung
Dina
off,
gets shot in the leg as well.
Yeah, but also the brutal bit when the guy is with getting hanged. I thought what was brutal is the guy doesn't even like when he has the sickle. He doesn't even like move it himself. He lets the guy get strung up and get hung up. And while he's coming upwards, the thing's like cutting him. It was really brutal. But it goes back to that sort of thing of the repeating the cycle of violence, of course, and obviously the scars kill some wolves kill some scars. Like no wonder they're all killing each other. Like the themes are very much there, and they do make sense. It's just done in a not as strong of a
because you see that at the beginning of the episode as well, where Dina and Ellie come across some of the dead scars that the WLF shot on in the street and the wall, and it has the mural of the scars savior. Feel our love, and they graffiti it saying, "Feel this bitch," quote.
Yeah.
But so.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I like the whistling thing was cool for the horror theme, because obviously, usually you think people are just dealing with the guns and they're more noticeable, whereas these guys are more stealthy. And then like I also felt like you didn't even hear the arrow coming, just got Dina in the leg and they had to run away. So that was cool. So a lot of stuff like that was very dramatic and everything as well. Like I said, visually it is all just really good. But again, I think also because Dina and Ellie, again, the actress playing Dina is great. I think they just look quite young. Like they don't look 19 like adults or young adults. They look more like kids in this apocalyptic thing. And it's like this sort of Scooby-Doo style thing of like them having this adventure, rather than it being like an actual like dramatic revenge plot where they're out to survive kind of thing as well. So I don't know. I feel like for this, I'm really, maybe it's because I was thinking about this before. Maybe it's because I'm not a fan of the game story they're adapting. If I was a fan of it, maybe I would forgive some of these things and I'd have a bit more of like a fanboy. Whatever, it's fine. But I'm just not taking it seriously, and I'm not buying it at all.
With my point of view, like, I'm a fan of the game and I loved it, but the main issue I just have in the show is Bella, because like she doesn't like you said in the other episode, she doesn't really show the revengeful Ellie that we've seen in the games. Like Ellie in the games is brutal. She has she kills loads of people and she does it without hesitation. But with Bella though, she's been a bit of a goofball and not really showing the very dark side of Ellie that we see in the games.
Yeah, they're not having as much of a thing. And I mean, Lauren was talking about this before. She was saying because she's not played the game, she sees more of a difference between two versions of Ellie's. But I think as someone who's played the games, it's harder to sort of just help to see the distinguishable features in the show, because I don't really see much of a difference. I think there's slightly less sort of jokes she's making, but personality-wise, you don't feel the weight of this loss at all, and the guilt of never being able to reconcile fully with Joel before he died. And that's the tragedy of the game, and you don't get that here at all. And that's partly why I think Ellie wants to get revenge so bad, is because she thinks that if by doing that, it will make it better that she never got to make amends. And obviously, it never will. It's never going to bring Joel back. That's the tragedy. But you don't get that performance here. I don't think personally. I don't see it. I don't buy it. So then after obviously that scene, we get the bit obviously. So they retreat. They go to they escape from the scars, and then obviously Ellie goes off on her own. And then she finds Nora. There's cool a bit with the dog, so I actually like when like, the dog's trying to find her in the little in the grass and stuff. That's a bit
It
fun.
reminds me of the games as well. They were,
yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
tell you what, playing grounded on Last of Us Part 2 with the dogs is a bloody nightmare. Like,
I can imagine. Yeah.
but you have the choice though if you want to kill the dogs again, which is mad. It gives you that option, and obviously, if you don't want to get caught, you have to kill the dog. I'm sorry, but
yeah. Well, there's a bit.
Sparky, no.
Yeah, Bear. Isn't there a bit in the game when she has to kill one of them as well? Like Ellie, she has to stab one of them. Because
yes, that was when Ellie encounters Owen and Mel, and which at the time you're like, when you play at Ellie, you're like, okay, this dog was gonna kill me. Good thing I killed it. But then later on, when you see Abby's story, oh my god, you feel bad there because the dog's like your companion in the beginning of Abby's story. I'm like, I'm gonna kill that dog in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that.
So she should have put the two different sides of the story. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I do find it funny how like sometimes you don't have a choice, so it's not to make the player feel guilty because you don't. Sometimes you don't have a choice. If you had a choice, I'd feel more guilty about it personally. But yeah, but that was a cool little homage. But then when we get to a bit with Nora and she's like, you remember me, don't you? It just seems like a kid trying to be scared. You know what it reminded me of? Because I just saw it recently. Do you remember in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where and he's interrogating Donald Glover, who played I think it's like who's meant to be making the Prowler.
I'm not a boy, I'm a man.
I'm not a girl, I'm a boy, I'm a man. And she's like, you've done this before. That's what it seemed like. I don't find her intimidating and scary. I don't. And you know what's also funny? It's because Nora, because the actress playing Nora obviously is the actress in the upcoming
Tati Gabrielle. I just got her name up there because I'm trying to remember it. Yeah. I thought she was great as Nora. I really like her.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing her for the new Naughty Dog game. That's why I'm really hyped for her.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm really hyped for that.
But she is obviously that, but she looks quite sort of compared to Nora in the game. She looks quite like lean and quite like well built. She looks like she can handle herself. Like she looks like she's put a bit of muscle on. And I find it funny thinking you could take her. Like she could take Ellie. Like realistically,
but Ellie's the one putting the gun at her though.
I know, but like I feel like I think I would have preferred it in this version maybe if she had poured the thing on her and then Ron she's like sprinting out of the way and then Ellie's chasing after her. It's like, you can't escape, I'm gonna kill you. It's like it's just laughable. It's like, imagine if it's like some sort of goofy like kids film when the person being chased is clearly not meant to be. It's not the one being the victim here. I found it silly. And then of course at the end when she's interrogating her, they missed a crucial bit when she's like, I'm already dead. Why would I kill you? Why would I give you why would I tell you where Abby is? And she says, because I can make it quick.
I can make it quick or pay
worse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not have that in there? And then because I think they're trying to not make Ellie as much of a bad person in this, because that's why, like I said, that's why she don't have the bit in the show where she kills the dog, because the things she does in the game.
Well, that's not till later though, because that might be episode 7, because it finished. Because Ellie's part of her story finishes as soon as she meets Owen and Mel, and then back to the cinema, and then that's when Abby reunites. Abby appears.
Yeah. But I just don't think they're gonna make her in the game. They do make her do things that are, like just bad. Like she's a bad person by the end. She's done awful things in the name of avenging Joel, and they haven't done that with her so far yet in the show. And I think they're kind of scared too, because they don't want people to think that Ellie's unlikable. And that same reason why, not even just like killing people, but how she treated Dina after she found out she's pregnant, how she's like gone off on her own and stuff. I just don't think it's done in the same way. And obviously, I'm not a fan of how they do it in the game. But if you're going to commit to the revenge story, the game committed a lot more than the show has, and so I don't believe that they're going to get the same message across that the game did. Again, it's a message I'm not really a fan of, but I understand what they were doing about the psycho violence and what that does to people, but I just don't think that the show has done it in the same way, and I don't think that even in 2 more seasons, unless Ellie gets some serious body count, like high rank, like Joel in the finale of season 1 high in episode 7, because we know from the ending of this episode in the promo it's going to be a Joel flashback. Then they're going to lose me, and then we have to wait an entire year. Then it's going to be Abby's point of view, and by the time we actually get to that fight, I won't feel the same way. Or that you're supposed to in the game, and I don't get it. So with the Nora scene, I found it kind of like and then when she's beating her to death and stuff with the pipe and everything, it's brutal. Don't get me wrong, but then it just doesn't feel If anything, I felt like, well, she's kind of deserved it because she's egging Ellie on
Yeah,
as well.
that bitch got what he deserved. Yeah.
Yeah, but then even afterwards, talking about why Joel did what he did and everything, and Ellie's like, I don't care and stuff. But it's just, it feels more like, I don't know. I'm trying to describe it in words. I just don't buy it. I think that because Bella Ramsey
I know what you
doesn't
mean,
look
mate. I know
old
what you mean.
enough. Yeah, because she's still, but to me, Bella Ramsey still looks 15 in this. They do. They look 15. They look, or maybe 16. I don't know. They're not. I don't buy them as the more mature adult Ellie. Even when they can give her the same outfit that Ellie has in the game, where she has, the shirt and the tattoos and the hair back and the sneakers that are. She can wear the iconic look, whatever. I don't feel the same way.
In this case,
nothing to do with how
cosplay.
she looks as. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, and it is. Yeah, I've seen better cosplays at Comic Cons. And it's got nothing to do with how Bella Ramsey looks. I know people are really being cruel online about it, and it's awful. And
that's what I don't think she deserves it, though. I feel like she still does a good job, but it's just like the way the script is and the way they changed Ellie's behavior has not helped her in her favour.
Yeah, but I think that people are dismissing that and ignoring that because of the hate that Bella Ramsey's getting from their looks. It's the same thing that happened to Abby as a character, because Laura Bailey got death threats in the game, and that was awful. But because of that, you weren't allowed to criticize Abby without being seen as like, oh, you're one of these awful trolls online. Like, no, I just don't like Abby as a character, but I'm not allowed to say that because of the hate that Laura Bailey got. Like, but these two things are separate. And I think that with Ellie in the show, it's the same thing. Like, Bella Ramsey is not as good of Ellie as I think they fit the role much better in season 1. And I think that the writing of this hasn't made Ellie as good of a version and stuff. So yeah, that's it to me. So
yeah, well, like you were saying before about waiting next year for it. I found out that I think they're filming next year instead of this summer.
So we're gonna have to wait 2 years.
2027, we'll probably have to wait. Yeah.
So all the continuity are just gonna go. All of the hype for it, all of the build up. I think people are not gonna care. I can't see them doing the same numbers as the season 2 did and season 1 of the hype. I can't see it. I really can't.
Yeah.
Especially now casuals know who. No, say casuals like it's in. So especially people who haven't played the games now know that Joel won't be in it anymore and everything. I can't see them doing well with this now at all, and I'm kind of checked out, to be perfectly honest. But
well, the next episode does confirm Pedro Pascal's last appearance.
Yes, which would be cool. I'm excited to see that one. So hopefully that's a much better episode. Out of 10, I would give this one maybe a 5 or a 6, just because there's some great visual imagery of the spores and the scars in their fight. And then, the actress, like you said, who played Nora was good, and that spore thing was interesting. But in terms of the Ellie plot, I'm not bought it. And I think maybe if we had more episodes to build up to it, they would have been able to give us that. But because they've only got 7 episodes, it just feels rushed and not earned. And
should have been 10.
I'm not invested. Yeah,
should have been 10.
I'm not invested. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we still got 2 more episodes to put up with, and then we'll probably do like one big video afterwards to like give our strong opinion about season 2 in a whole.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, looking forward to that. Just to see, but overall, I think if I didn't know about the game and just looked at it as a TV show, I think I would look at it as just decent television. But compared to how beloved the previous games, the games are, as controversial as Last of Us 2 is, that is loved by a lot of people. I just think fans of that game like yourself, I think they deserve better than what we're getting. So it is what it is.
It is what it is, indeed. But that's all we're going to talk about so far for this episode. But if you liked our episode, then please give it a like on our YouTube channel with the video version. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, then please give us a follow as well. We also have Instagram as well, so follow us. I will like post some like funny little videos now and then, put some announcements as well. But yes, that is just us for now. So Scott, what a good episode! Good episode of the podcast. I'm not talking about the episode of the show, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you next week for the next episode 6, which he's coming back.
He's returning.
We're getting Joel back. He's coming back. But we'll see how the episode is though. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we shall see you in the next episode, guys. So take care.
Cheers, guys. Take care.